Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing? Today, I want to take a look at Kujira Grown-Up DeFi, a little project that's piqued my curiosity on the Cosmos for a while. After the absolutely crushing Terra Luna crash, these boys have had to rethink their game. They've had to migrate from the Terra ecosystem and are now a fully functioning Cosmos Layer 1 platform. They see themselves as the next level of DeFi, but we'll be the bloody judge of that, won't we? So today, I'm going to have a look at their social media following, their tokenomics, sorry, no airdrop bros, a quick look at some of their main products under construction, their working product Fin, what it is, and what they claim to bring to the table with it over other DeFi applications on the Cosmos such as Osmosis. And finally, my final thoughts. So let's get bloody into it. We can see they've been around since August 2021 and they have 55.8k followers. Not bad going at all on Twitter. A recent poll by me asking about how many people know about the actual platform reveals that about 30% have no bloody clue. Saying that, a whopping 50% are overwhelmingly positive. It is a small sample size, and based on their Telegram, which has considerably less at 7,000 users, this could potentially be construed as a little bit of manipulation. Strangely as well, I'm not allowed to comment in this group while I can on Discord. Cheers, admins. Speaking of Discord, it doesn't directly display how many users there are, but it seems that 3,703 have clicked the thumbs up. So that's what we're going to go with. So considerably less on Discord than there is on Telegram, and considerably less on Telegram than there is on Twitter. Moving forward, Tokenomics. Now the cool thing is, their Kujira Blue platform lists all of this. I'll talk about this in a little bit more detail later when we look at the platform, but they have a different methodology to most when it comes to APR. As you can see, the rates are quite low at 0.5%. We can see the fully diluted market cap is just over $50 million. The total overall supply will be 122.4 million, and the current release supply is about 56 million. So as we can see, for the people currently invested, over the next 5 months, there's going to be an absolutely massive amount of released tokens, which if investment in the token does not increase, will certainly dilute this value that we see here. Ultimately, we're going to have to identify if people keep hold of these tokens or sell them. That will determine the market price. Now, of these tokens, there is nearly 5 million in the community pool, which based on voting can be used to fund different things. For example here, this was voted in Market Maker as a Service. These funds will be taken from the community pool to enable these platforms to move ahead. So that is a couple of $1 million. Next, we have people holding liquid tokens of around $3 million. Operation of a similar quantity, so 3.5 million. This will pay for the team, the production, the development, the server costs. 15.44 million are unmigrated. So that means after the Terra Luna crash, people would have to click on this button here, migrate, and follow the steps to whip these tokens over from their Terra address. As we can see, lots of people haven't done that. Over $10 million worth of tokens are staked. And finally, these are the remaining vested tokens that we can see will be released over this timeline. I must admit, looking at the surface of Kujira Blue, I do love the user interface. It's clean, it's precise, it's beautiful. Even if it does reveal this worrisome upwards graph trajectory. I know you all wanted the airdrop more than anything, but unfortunately, the airdrop gods have forsaken us on this day. All right, moving forward then, let's have a look at their current products, starting with a quote. There we go. We all love a bloody quote, don't we? The secret of change is to focus all of your energy, not on fighting the old, but on building the new. I quite like that quote by Socrates, or as they say in Korean, Socrates. Now, as I said, they see themselves as the grown-ups. They see this as the next level of DeFi, and they might be right. Let's have a look into it. So they do actually have 4 cool products. I'm going to briefly talk about these 3, and then we'll get into the main one, which is Fin. So Orca is actually pretty cool. It's a marketplace for liquidated collateral. So on this platform that is now currently dead, because it relied on UST, when any loans were liquidated, bots could buy them up. But this gave you the opportunity to buy them up. So actually, during the Terra Luna crash, there was probably a lot of money to be made here if they managed to get out in time. But currently, this is not working as it migrates. I expect to see that change down the line. So from my perspective, Orca is a really cool, innovative product I haven't seen anywhere else on the Cosmos. Next, Beluga or Beluga. I'm going to go Beluga, it sounds posher. This doesn't come up with anything when I click on the link, but having a user interface to add multiple transactions at the same time is never a bloody bad thing, is it? So yeah, it would be nice to see that integration on all areas of the Cosmos. There is Blue, of course, which we just looked at, which is this entire ecosystem where you can connect your wallet, you can swap tokens, you can bridge to and from the Cosmos, you can stake your Kuji tokens. The UI is just so pretty. Look at that. And it also has the governance modules and the migration features. So we did look at that before. And finally, another really important feature which I like to see is they're having a partnership with Local Money, which is a decentralized on-off ramp that's finally coming to the Cosmos. As we know, the biggest barrier to the Cosmos right now is having to buy tokens on a large exchange, transfer them off the exchange, understand what Kepler Wallet is, and start using that. While people might find that a simple process, it's not. And 99% of people struggle with it and therefore refuse to do it. So having a clean fiat on and off ramp is an absolutely exceptional idea, and I hope this comes into fruition. It cuts out multiple middlemen. Grown-ups indeed. Now, let's get into their main platform, Fin. Fin is what they consider to be a stronger idea for longevity in trading and token exchanges on the Cosmos. It looks like your standard trading platform. So let's have a look at why they wanted to create this and why they consider themselves to be adults in the game. Basically, if you've ever used osmosis, you will know what a liquidity pool is. Now basically, with a liquidity pool, you put two assets in there, for example, Atom and Osmo, and as people trade between Atom and Osmo, here, you will earn fees from that trade. Not only that, there are often extra incentives put into the pool that give you much higher APRs to keep you interested. The problem is, after a certain period of time, between 6 and 12 months, these extra incentives disappear, and therefore the liquidity in the pool reduces, making price fluctuations greater. However, there are some bots that come in to try and fix that using arbitrage. So here is basically the issue that they state. The liquidity pool needs more incentives, okay? So I buy 1,000 tokens for $1,000. Now, because the APY is 20% a year, let's say now there are 1,200 tokens. If the market cap remains the same, but the number of tokens increases, what happens to your token value? Just like what's happening with the dollar right now after quantitative easing, the value of it goes down. So now each token that you have is worth less, as I've shown here. On top of this, over time, as projects get older and incentives reduce, you see how this curve starts to flatten? The APR reduces, which leads to a need for more incentives, which then inflates, and then token value decreases, and of course APR continues to drop, and it creates a certain cycle that eventually has an end. People need incentives to remain in pools, and they always expect the interest they receive in the form of payments will be higher than the decrease in value from the increase in supply, but that's not always the case. You could end up with 1 million dead tokens. So, what is their solution? They plan to use an order book style, and it doesn't require incentives to facilitate trade. You just place a limit order on what you want to trade. And it says as Fin grows, what they should really write here is if Fin grows, because they have to be realistic. Liquidity will increase, and the longer lasting model will reduce risk. And like an AMM, returns are made from the trading itself. So it's modeled off the NASDAQ, and the stakers of Kuji will receive these returns. But as we saw with the current APR, it's not looking to turn that many heads yet. The cool thing is, if this platform starts to thrive, the Kuji stakers are not just going to receive Kuji token. They'll be rewarded with a variety of different assets on the platform, depending on what's being traded. It's a pretty cool concept. They basically claim for their order book, they're super fast compared to everybody else. It's both scalable and gas efficient. There are fees as both maker and taker on the platform, and they say it's less than half of the standard AMM, which is 0.3%. So we're looking at 0.15%. So what we're seeing here is it's fast, cheap, and it seems to be more efficient because every time you buy a token in a traditional AMM, you buy one at a set price, the prices change. You buy the next one at a set price, the prices change. You buy the next one at a set price, the prices change. This seemingly more efficient system allows trades to be matched at the quoted price with zero slippage. So really good in theory, and we can see why it's accruing quite a strong following. They've been through quite a lot, and they're clearly putting it all together. So my final thoughts then. Is this model and methodology truly greater? Is it really going to be faster and cheaper to do? For example, they did quote the average swap fee will be 0.3%, but actually it's 0.2. And they said there will be half of that, so there'll be 0.15 compared to 0.2. I don't see that as being extremely competitive, especially if osmosis has been around longer and therefore is considered more trusted. And as we saw before, the model automatically assumes traction will increase. But what if it doesn't? This is quite a complex field in on itself. And we know other platforms are coming to the Cosmos, like DYDX, that are also using the order book methodology off-chain because it's meant to be faster and more efficient. While they have a slightly different consumer base, that doesn't mean in the future they won't bridge into each other's consumer bases. So essentially what I'm trying to say here is competition might be very high. It's a continually evolving space with lots of platforms in it to win it. Also, with inflation being 0%, and the only new tokens coming out are the ones that are vested, if demand doesn't increase for these tokens, we will see a massive drop in value. This extra vested supply will create a massive supply push, pushing down the value per token, unless there's a significant increase in demand that can meet it. Other projects have around 10-year release schedules like Juno. This is not to say I'm down on the project, it's important to play devil's advocate. If they can attract enough people to Fin using a tried and tested order book system strategy, whereby they're focused on longevity, and upgrading some of the vulnerabilities that exist with automatic market makers, this could be wonderful. This could be DeFi 2.0, the next step. DeFi is improving all the time. It's incredibly complex, but it undoubtedly is the future, and it has banks running scared. Yes, they're going to face competition. Yes, they're facing an enormous amount of tasks with all these products in development and the migration, but that's not to say they can't do it. It has gained traction for a reason. Kujira can bring Polkadot to the Cosmos. and they could potentially step up the level of competition where it is so sorely needed. So for me, overall, I'm quite positive about this. I personally haven't bought any tokens yet. I'm going to wait till we're over this hump here and the platform's a little bit more developed. But ultimately, I'm generally quite positive about this new tech and this new competition they're bringing to the cosmos. So let's watch this space. I'm always interested to hear your thoughts, so let me know what you think down below. All right, that's it from me, James at Cryptoconsh. Hope you all have a good day, and I'll see you again.